Hello, my fellow YouTube viewers. This is another edition of the Stuart Dahl Show, starring myself, Stuart Dahl. I'm coming to you live from my house right here in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. With the current temperature is about here in Winnipeg is about minus 10 right now with a slight wind chill of -13. But the temperature is supposed to somewhat moderate, throughout the day and over the course of the Easter long weekend. And that, um, well, let's just get right into it. As you all, as you for you YouTubers that are WWE fans, as you probably already knew, a while ago, Shane McMahon made his first appearance on Raw in I think 6 or 10 years. I honestly can't remember the last time Shane McMahon was on Monday Night Raw, but he came back, as Stephanie McMahon was being presented the Vincent Kennedy McMahon Legacy of Excellence Award, and she was making her speech. And then next thing you know, people, the fans in the arena heard Shane McMahon's music. They all start going nuts like, oh my God, Shane O'Mac, Shane O'Mac. Like the fans are just going nuts because they haven't seen Shane McMahon step foot in a WWE ring, let alone an arena in God knows how many years. And then he comes back because he's getting really disgusted at the way things are. Sorry about that, folks. Shane McMahon's getting really sick and tired of the way things are running, and I don't blame the guy because you know things tend to go sometimes south with the McMahons because they're the most dysfunctional family in WWE. I'm not saying they're the most dysfunctional family in history, but they're the most dysfunctional. The McMahons are the most dysfunctional family in World Wrestling Entertainment. And while we're on the subject of WWE, as if you people didn't watch the Monday Night Raw, that when Shane McMahon came back, basically he said, "I want one thing. No, he wants one thing only. He wants control of Monday Night Raw and the WWE. If if Shane McMahon wins his Hell in a Cell match at WrestleMania against The Undertaker, then not only you'll have control of Monday Night Raw, you'll have control of the WWE, which means he'll give his sister Stephanie McMahon and her husband Triple H the boot, and just say bye bye." And I think pretty much the same thing goes with Vincent Kennedy McMahon, but I don't think he would do that. But you never know with Shane McMahon, and you never know what goes on with the McMahons because they're just sometimes just plain crazy and just whacked out of their minds at times. But that's just the way they are. What else? I apologize to my fellow YouTubers that I have not made a video in a long time because I've just been really busy with my sports such as swimming, bowling, and curling. I just ended curling for the season. All I have left is swimming and bowling, and that's it. And I just ended the wrestling season the previous week because at the provincial wrestling tournament at Elmwood, which all the Grand Park wrestlers did do, you know, considerably well. That's all we coaches can ask for. But unfortunately, we had a small amount of high school males and like maybe one female wrestler. So obviously we couldn't become repeat provincial champions. And unfortunately, one of Grand Park's many rivals in football and wrestling, St. Paul's High School, aka St. Paul's High School, won the provincial title for high school male. And I'll give St. Paul's that. They had a big wrestling team this year. They did well this season, and that it's all because they had the numbers. Out of like how many people that go to St. Paul's High School, I'd be willing to bet, willing to say that maybe half of their guys that are on their football team at St. Paul's probably do wrestle for St. Paul's, but I'd be willing to bet, but I obviously do not know the answer to that question. I've never gone to St. Paul's High School for high school, but it will. What else? Lately, I've been reading a really interesting book. It's called When Paris Went Dark: the City of Light under German occupation from 1940 to 1944. And I've been reading this book, and it's very interesting. How over the course of those like 3 or 4 years, when the Germans were occupying, how they dealt with the Parisians, and how they dealt with certain issues, and that like with the French resistance and stuff like that. That's just the way it is. And for you people, for you YouTubers that are interested in World War II and the Axis powers of Germany, Italy, and Japan. For you people that don't know, on this day, March 26th, 1945, the Battle of Iwo Jima finally ends after, I believe, months or weeks of bloody struggle the between U.S. troops and the Japanese troops, which were stationed on Iwo Jima, both fighting to death. And Iwo Jima just goes to show you people that that the Americans for every single island they took on the way to Japan, and they soon paid for that not only in their own blood, but they also paid for that in losses of like equipment and stuff. So, and for the U.S. to invade Japan, it would be really costly and bloody, and it would like literally cost the lives of like thousands of U.S. troops. So, unfortunately, the U.S. had to resort to the most deadly weapon on earth, and this is it was the first time in history that the United States had used a nuclear weapon against an enemy such as Japan. They resorted to using the atomic bombs, which were Little Boy and Fat Man. Both were dropped on the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and it caused widespread, devastating damage to. Pardon me. Sorry for that, folks. It caused widespread damage to not only houses, but it killed like thousands and thousands of civilians. And not only that, it also killed another like thousands of civilians in the years to come because some of them died of cancers due to the effects of radiation because of the atomic bombs. And I think that Japan had on several occasions had a chance to surrender, but because the Japanese lived by the Bushido Code, which basically meant they stood and died, they would they stood and died, then they would rather not surrender. And the same thing goes with Germany. When they were just getting pounded on both fronts, the Western and Eastern fronts. On one hand, you have the Western Allies coming in, basically going eastwards, like toward crossing the River Rhine and within distance of Berlin. And then you have the Soviet Red Army that were coming in from the east, and they smashed through the German line in Russia, and driven clear across Poland to the River Nisa and the River Oder. But then it was like who's gonna have the honor of taking the German capital Berlin. But at the Alta Conference in February, I believe, 1943, it had been decided that Berlin would fall in the Soviet zone of occupation. So then, Stalin, the then Soviet dictator, made doubly sure that the prize would be his. And then, what was also interesting about the end of near the end of World War II in Europe is elements of the U.S. Army and the Soviet Red Army met about 75 miles in the German town of Torgau, which was on the River Elbe, which is about 75 miles from Berlin, and both celebrate the fact that the Third Reich have been virtually cut in two. But and that just spelled the beginning of the Cold War. What else? What was it? Oh god, oh god, oh god, Mama, nasty. Who the fudge did that? Oh dear God. Oh wait, I think that's one of my many friends that probably did that job. Oh wait, it was me. But I just like to kind of joke around, like that type of thing. You know, you know, burp and fart. But that's what just what guys do. But I kind of know when and not to do it type of thing. What else? Other than that, it looks like I'm gonna be. Pardon me. Sorry for that, folks. Looks like I'm going to be having a nice 4-day long weekend. Like I had the day off from work yesterday because of Good Friday, and I also have the day off Monday because of Easter Monday, and that there's really not much I have to say really else I really have to say at this point. Weather-wise or news-wise at this point. But other than that, this has been another edition of my show, the Stuart Dahl Show. For you people that do not know me, you can call me Stuart or Stu or Stewie. You know, I really honestly don't care. But for now, I am signing off. But I'll try to make some more videos either later on and later on today or basically like whenever I can type of thing. But for now, I'll be the same. Peace, bye bye, and stay cool, my friends.